Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the main roster on the Jez Show podcast network. I am Jez, the named person in the Jez Show podcast network. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Dan. How's it going, Dan?
I'm going good. How about you?
Yeah.
Apart from
Life.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, I just love when technology does what it wants and doesn't bother consulting you, and
it's
just
rude,
generally,
isn't it? It's just rude.
It is, you know. I'm here trying to do a podcast. I'm trying to do live streams on Twitch, and there's always something, man. There's always something just in the way, going, nah, screw you. You're not going to do that exactly the way you want it today.
Do that today.
No. So, yeah, we're here now, and we've got lots of professional wrestling to discuss.
Yes, that's why we're here.
Mostly based on the horror show at Extreme Rules at the Performance Center at Orlando, Florida, at the United States, at the world, at the universe.
At
probably
time and
a few more in there. At the Milky Way, at Alpha Centauri, at whatever the larger kind of sector of this quadrant is called. I don't know. We're getting a bit Star Trekky now. Should we kick off with? Should we kick off with our first match discussion before I completely lose the plot?
Yeah, so we're going to SmackDown first of all before Extreme Rules. And this was the Styles versus Riddle match for the Intercontinental title. It was a technically proficient Intercontinental title match and was dominated by the challenger Matt Riddle for the majority of the match against champion AJ Styles. While it looked as though we would have a new champion, Styles surprised Riddle with a counter into a pin that held the original Bro down for 3. After the match, King Corbin attacked Riddle and left him laying in the middle of the ring.
Yeah. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was good. I quite liked it. Seeing a bit more of Riddle, you know, because obviously I haven't seen much of him and don't really know much about him, but seeing how he wrestles I think it's like a good all-rounder match to see what he's like, as it were.
It was pretty much what I was expecting, at least. It was a good match. There was a lot going on. We got to see a lot of Matt Riddle's kind of technical proficiency. We already knew that AJ Styles had that same kind of proficiency. So it was pretty much what we were expecting, and it met those expectations.
Yep.
It certainly met our predictive expectations. We both predicted that AJ Styles would walk away with it. But I liked the handshake at the end and the sportsmanship of it.
Yes, I like that bit of respect.
Don't think that they're done, really. I think we can expect to see this happening again.
Yeah, I could see more from it.
But right now, it looks like he being Matt Riddle is going into a rivalry with King Corbin,
which would be good, I think.
It will be a thing that happens. Yes,
we'll cross that bridge when we actually come to it, shall we?
Yeah, it'll be an entertaining story, I think, because Matt Riddle really needs a strong heel to bring a bit more likability out of him. He's been a bit wooden so far since he's come up from NXT. My concern is what the end product looks like when they get in the ring. I assume that'll happen at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I have to wait and see. Maybe old Corbs will surprise us and Matt Riddle will pull a 5-star match out of him. We'll have to see.
Old Corn on the Corbs.
Corn on the Corbs.
There you go. That's his new nickname.
Before we swing into the next match, Steve Paul, who's watching live on YouTube, complimented you on your championship belt. Says, nice belt, Dan.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. My newest belt. My newest baby.
Steve normally only tunes in via the podcast, so as you've shown off things before, he hasn't seen your championship belt. So
well, now you can.
He's seeing it in all of its shiny glory for the first time.
Shiny glory, and we're still waiting for your belt.
We are still waiting for my belt, but it turns out, real off-topic interjection, I watched Slammiversary this weekend, in addition to Extreme Rules. The TNA World Championship is back on television.
Yes, it is.
And
got a white
just
strap.
well, that's what I was about to say. Just when I thought, I was like, hey, the thing I'm getting is completely relevant again, they've changed the strap and it's white now.
I'm not so keen on it being a white strap.
I don't think it looks as good as the black. No, I don't hate it,
work.
but
no, I just don't. There's just something about it. It just doesn't work. But never mind.
Never mind. Maybe I'll put mine on a white strap just to annoy you. We shall see. But until then, let's crack into the pre-show of Extreme Rules. Not quite the main thing yet. And on the kickoff show, Kevin Owens took on Murphy in a match announced just hours prior. Murphy had a fantastic showing for himself against Kevin Owens, keeping the bigger guy down with well-executed strikes and tosses. Kevin Owens had his own big moments, though, most notably a moonsault from the top rope, and of course, picking up the victory over the Messiah's disciple. This was what it was, really. It was a thrown together match that kind of furthers a story.
Yeah, sort of.
It's a bit of a remnant of a previous story, I guess.
Yeah.
This is, as we said, it came out very late on Sunday night on our time, good 2 hours before the event started. So obviously we didn't predict this on the podcast last week, but I messaged you and got your prediction and then posted that on the Jez Show Facebook. So we did get this one in. And it brings one of us to 1-0 to kick things off.
Yeah, that's you.
Yes, I predicted Kevin Owens would win this. And I think really it would have been a massive waste to have Murphy beat Kevin Owens on a pre-show. They should have made more of a deal of it if that was going to happen. So it made sense to me that Murphy lost here. Maybe the rivalry would continue. It didn't happen on Raw, but maybe something can come out of that again.
Yes.
Just going to throw in a little wave for George. Hello, George. Thanks for joining us. So 1-0 to me. That's a good start.
Well done.
The AJ Styles match was a wash because we both predicted the same thing, but 1-0 to me. That's a good way to get started.
Yes.
Should we crack into the main part?
Move on to the main show. So the main show at the horror show at Extreme Rules at the Performance Center, blah, 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 began with the tables match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The New Day got an early lead over their challengers, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, but the momentum shifted back and forth for most of the match. The match came to a sudden end when Cesaro, with a little help from Shinsuke, powerbombed Kofi Kingston through 2 tables and crowned themselves tag team champions. Yeah.
This was actually an alright match.
Yeah, I liked it.
There were a few moments where it just kind of got a bit lame and fizzled out, but any boring parts were made up by that spot at the end with Kofi Kingston going through those tables. That was pretty brutal.
Spot on, that was. Camera angles were good. You could see everything going on, so it was brilliant. I liked it. Yeah,
and I like the outcome. Kofi died, Steve says. I liked the outcome, as I was saying on the prediction show last week. I'm kind of bored of the New Day as tag team champions.
Yeah.
And while we've seen Cesaro with the tag team championship a lot, interesting to have him with a new tag team partner doing it. There are a few things that can come out of this. Hopefully we don't just go straight into a rematch with the New Day. Hopefully at SummerSlam there's a new team to challenge them.
Yeah, somebody new would be nice. I don't know who.
Yeah, there aren't many tag teams left on SmackDown, are there?
Maybe Jimmy and Jey Uso will appear again.
Can you name another tag team on SmackDown?
I
can't. off the top of my head. That's what I'm saying. So we're either having the New Day or the Usos, basically, or both of them at the same time. Or
it'll be a 3-way match, won't it?
Oh God.
No, Miz and Morrison. They're a tag team on SmackDown.
Yes, they are. But they are too busy using Miz and Morrison as general jobbers to
that's
main
true.
event guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Duff Valley says, I miss the good old TLC matches with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both.
I have to agree with that. All the matches I've watched from the good old days, which included them, were way better.
Yeah, well, interestingly, as we head towards SummerSlam, we have Roster Slam coming up as well. So maybe we'll get some old school Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge and Christian matches in there, or match
good.
At least.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We shall see. They'll certainly make my shortlist. They did for Rostermania. So
yeah.
Any other thoughts on this tag team tables match before we move forwards?
Not really, no.
Fair enough. Onwards then to the next contest, which saw a nervous Nikki Cross take on Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. With Nikki bringing the fight to the champion and kicking out of the Bayley to belly, Bayley began to show her frustration. However, as is the tradition, Sasha Banks was instrumental in helping her friend retain, slipping Bayley her boss ring to strike Nikki in the ribs with. Nikki Cross fails to gain the championship.
Really a bit upset about that.
Yeah. I mean, we both predicted that Nikki would win. Oh, and totally forgot to mention, I predicted Shinzaro to win the tag titles, and you didn't. 2-0. So that's 2-0 to me. But yeah, I'm really disappointed that they kind of missed the chance to put the title on somebody else on SmackDown. Not that I'm disliking Bayley.
No.
I've been very vocal about the fact that I'm loving everything that Bayley and Sasha are doing on every show.
Yeah.
But I think now is the time to start to really stick that rift firmly in between Sasha and Bayley. And they didn't do that. Match was good.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross had a good showing for herself.
Yeah, she had a few good strikes in and all that, and did her usual thing.
Absolutely. But her usual thing kind of turned up a little bit. We've seen Nikki Cross in championship matches before, especially in NXT. And with the exception of maybe one against Asuka, I think this is the best that we've seen her. Hopefully, we see another opportunity for her. I'd love for the belt to just change hands on SmackDown rather than having to wait for a pay-per-view. Stay random SmackDown. Cool. She's forced into a title match with Nikki Cross or Alexa Bliss or whoever, and bam, just drops it on a random SmackDown. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But I think this historic reign needs to end.
Yes, but my favourite part was just seeing Alexa Bliss. Even though she was at ringside, but just seeing her was great.
Got to get that in there every time.
Yes, of course.
Not the only time we'll see Alexa Bliss on this pay-per-view.
No. So that makes me very happy.
Nikki Cross does too many crossbodies, Steve says.
It's kind of what she does, though.
So the clue's in the name, man. Nikki Cross.
Crossbody. But anyway, shall we move on?
Yes, let's move swiftly on as much as we can for the next part.
Next, the United States Championship between Apollo Crews and MVP did not take place. With Crews unable to compete, MVP declared himself the new champion due to forfeit. There's
slipped discs.
Yes. The thing is,
he's got COVID, right?
Yeah, I know it might be that, but there's not been any official. So I've just seen what Steve has put. She's mine. But no, there's not been any official saying that MVP is the new United States champion.
Yeah.
By forfeit. So Are we not counting this, or?
See, there's this match, and then there's a later match where there's going to be some question. I think for this one, we're just not counting it because the match it didn't take place at all. So, as far as the prediction game is concerned, this one just doesn't count.
No.
Especially because on Raw, they kind of cemented the fact that no, he's not. MVP is not US champion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just call this a wash.
Yeah.
And move on. But kind of wish they had just gone with, not because I predicted MVP would win,
No.
just because I'm sick of championship matches not happening, especially for the US championship.
Yeah.
We waited so long for Andrade to get his ass back, and then he didn't defend it anyway.
Yeah, I know.
And now Apollo Crews has missed the boat several times.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Is the belt cursed now? What's going on?
It clearly is. You wait until I get it. I'll be cursed.
The undoubted testicle, undoubted scrotum championship.
Yes.
Did I mention there's testicles on the belt, Dan?
Yes. Oh, man.
Steve says, I can't remember a time where WWE has mentioned coronavirus or COVID-19 at all. They're pretending it doesn't exist. Yes, they are. That's because Vinnie Mac is Donald Trump Jr. and would like to do everything to keep old Donnie happy. And that is not mentioning the coronavirus, trying to keep masks off television for as long as possible. And yeah, now I think Apollo Crews has got COVID, and that's why he's not there.
Probably. Oh, that's completely plausible at the moment, but anyway,
let's go on to an actual match, if we can call it that. Tom Phillips warned us that the next match, the eye for an eye match, would be horrific, and it was, but not in the way that he was really trying to suggest. After a long-fought match, Seth Rollins repeated his actions from a few months ago, pressing Mysterio's eye into the ring steps and forcing his eye out of his socket. Rollins then vomited at the sight of Ray's eye outside of his skull.
WTF.
Keeping it PG there.
Yes,
I love
I am.
Let me say that apart from the ending, this match was actually really good.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. It was just the ending.
This is the best I've seen Rey Mysterio in the ring against anyone for a long time, especially since he came back.
Yeah.
And so it's really disappointing that that was the ending and that this was the stipulation at all, because you can't go anywhere. When you when you put this kind of stipulate, I can't even speak. I'm so kind of befuddled by the whole thing. When you put this kind of stipulation in place, where do you go? If you say that somebody's eye has to be removed, well, then anything short of that is going to be a disappointment. You're not actually going to remove anybody's eye because, come on.
Yeah.
So you're setting yourself up for a disappointing moment at the very least, or something quite horrific at the most. So but that gobstopper that he was holding between his fingers just didn't do it for me.
It's the fact that there wasn't any blood either.
No.
There's bound to be a little bit of blood.
To be fair, there I don't think there is actually. When you people I know have had their eyes kind of popped out.
Yeah.
And there is no blood. And actually, they do just come out, and you can just go back in. They go, and it's not a thing really. It's not a big deal. Yeah. But yeah, why? Yeah. This didn't need to be a thing.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
They had one horror match in the swamp fight, and they decided, oh, we need some more horror because we've called it this stupid name. Let's go all in on it.
Yeah. Just pop someone's eye out. Screw it.
And we both said Ray, so That didn't happen.
No.
Still 2-0 to me.
Yeah. That's.
I'm sure what Seth did would force the eye into the head or cause it to rupture. I would recommend a heated teaspoon for eye removal, Steve says.
How do you know that? Slightly worrying.
Don't ask questions like that to Steve.
No,
just don't.
okay.
Just don't go there.
Let's just move on, shall we?
Have I told you before the first kind of meeting or knowledge I had of Steve?
No. I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
Maybe he regretted it. My first knowledge of Steve was my dad coming home one evening after popping to the shop, distraught, upset, because a person that I went to school with had come careening down the hill on their push bike and went straight into my dad as they were pulling off through the windscreen.
Oh, great.
Yeah. That was Steve.
Oh, lovely.
And a few years later, I found out it was Steve after I'd, got to know him and we'd been conversing for a while. And yeah, so that was a fun conversation. Hey, are you the guy my dad ran over? Yes, I am. Great.
Fantastic. Oh dear.
So yeah, heated teaspoon. Take his word for it. Don't ask any questions.
Well, if I'm not here next week, you know why.
I'll send CSI looking for teaspoons.
Yeah, I've got a few people I don't like, so. Anyway, we've gone really off track.
We have a bit. I don't have anything more to say about the eye for an eye, so feel free to move on.
So let's get back to normality. The next match was for the Raw Women's Championship with Asuka. I just read it. With Asuka defending against Sasha Banks. This was a competitive match with several good moments, and of course, Bayley got herself involved in the most interesting of ways. After the referee was caught accidentally with green mist, Bayley ripped the shirt from his back and counted the pinfall, awarding the Raw Women's Championship to Sasha Banks.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know.
Sasha Banks. Sean Connery.
I'm Sean Connery. My name is Bond, James Bond.
So,
yeah,
we didn't get this whole situation playing out in the way I wanted.
No.
But this was kind of interesting.
It was
better than a clean victory or a clean loss.
Yeah.
But in terms of the prediction, you said Asuka and I said Sasha.
And
even though I am winning, I think I need to claim it.
I don't know what's going on in this match, to be honest, because of what happened on Raw with Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
And the pictures they put up for it is that Asuka's holding the Raw Women's Championship. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the event alone, then what you see at Extreme Rules, Sasha Banks walks out.
Yeah, with the title.
And the bell was rung, so that's an official thing. It's not like she just got up and walked out and that's that.
No.
The bell was rung. There was no announcement, but as far as we, the viewer, is concerned, Sasha Banks won that match.
Yes.
Wasn't in any way fair or legitimate, but I would say that she won the match.
Yeah, go on then. You've won this anyway, so... You've won this anyway, so...
I haven't gone through and tallied yet, so...
I've just had a look.
You cheat.
But
the match itself was good. I liked all of the kind of interjections of Bayley.
Yeah.
She's really good at being irritating, and that's the kind of heel that she thrives on being.
Yeah.
I was talking actually with my wife about it the other day. It's only very recently that we've started to see this kind of female heel. She's a kind of old school Jericho kind of heel right now. And you didn't get that from the women's division back in the day. The reasons that you were a heel back in the day were you've betrayed a man and you're a bit of a slut, or you won't have sex with a certain man, so you're a prude. Basically, you were a heel because you've done something against men.
Yes.
Or you've betrayed a man, or you've prevented another woman getting to a man. All really crap, misogynistic, chauvinistic reasons to be a heel. So it is really nice to see a lot more variety in the kinds of heels that you have in the company.
Yeah.
For a fault, Captain Sorrow on Twitch, I dropped in at Sex with a Man. Whelp, good evening indeed.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Welcome to the podcast. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, you've got so many different types of female heel. Like, for a fault, Nia Jax is the kind of monster heel that you've always had in the men's division. Your Big Shows, your Great
can't
Khali's.
Wrestle.
Yeah, she fits that bill, all right. Yeah, I'll give you that. And then you've got your cocky heels, like your Bailey's and your Sasha Banks. You've got your really irritating, grating, like just want to squash them with your thumb kind of heels in like the Iconics and that kind of ilk. I could go on, but
there's good
variety. Plenty of variety of heel, and that's good to see, especially as we've now reached this 5-year anniversary of the women's evolution.
Yes, that never happened again.
It's good to see that there's some progression happening, and hopefully we can see more happening from the women.
Yes. Yeah, I'd love to see it more. Definitely.
I think the women have been the highlight of WWE for
a while,
at least the last year, if not longer.
Oh God, yeah.
And they were the highlight of NXT when most of these women were in NXT, but pre-Revolution. So
yeah,
go women.
Go women. Cool.
And 3-0 to me. Yay.
Yes.
Back to the men then.
Yes.
And this next match was the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Before the match, Ziggler named his stipulations. 1, the match would be Extreme Rules for him only. 2, if Drew was disqualified or counted out, Dolph would be awarded the WWE title. Ziggler took full advantage of his stips, nailing D-Mac with low blows, steel chair shots, and tables to wear down the champion. Despite all of this, McIntyre was still able to retain after surprising Dolph with the Claymore.
I quite liked the stipulation.
Yeah, I thought it was
classic
Ziggler, classic heel.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that it didn't work. Like, it was a really good story.
Yeah, everything was built against Drew McIntyre. Pretty much, you're looking at like Drew McIntyre's going to lose this match because he's not allowed to use any weapons. He's not allowed this, but Dolph Ziggler can. And Drew McIntyre can snap. And he has known to snap. So that's kind of what Dolph was counting on, really.
Going for, yeah.
But Drew controlled himself and won. So fair play to him.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about this is that, I know the stipulations put that kind of handicap on him, but it seemed like he had a harder time beating Dolph Ziggler than he ever has any of his other opponents. And he's faced, Brock Lesnar to win the title, and he's faced Seth Rollins. And those guys should have been harder opponents. It seemed like he had a harder time against Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of only thing I'm not so keen on.
Yeah.
But in general, it was a great match.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Dolph Ziggler doing something relevant again, rather than just hanging around and generally being annoying and gyrating. So I dig it. We're going to see more of this next week, apparently, where McIntyre gets to choose the stipulation.
Yeah. Wonder what it'll be. A
I wonder as
Claymore
well.
match.
Yeah, I get to kick you in the face, and that's the only move allowed. Everything else is DQ. Job done.
Yeah.
It's a long title, but it works, you know?
Yes, exactly. The way WWE going at the moment, so. But yeah, we
I get to kick you in the face show at SummerSlam. That's the next pay-per-view.
Oh,
we
God.
both picked
Drew.
Drew McIntyre, so that doesn't count it to anything. Still 3-0.
Yep.
To moi.
So let's move on, shall we?
Yeah. Captain Sarah says, rules are I get in the ring, you stay home. Deal?
Yeah, pretty much.
Doesn't even need to agree. That, you know.
Yeah. We'll move on to the main event, which was the swamp fight between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Strowman arrived at the Wyatt compound and was greeted by Bray before being attacked and knocked unconscious by himself. After being chained up and bitten by a snake, the pair head out to the swamp where Braun is enticed into the mist by the spectre of Alexa Bliss. Oh, why couldn't that have been me? The pair fight in the water where Braun is drowned and beaten mercilessly with an axe handle. Braun is able to fight Bray off and throw him into the swamp. Just as he thinks it's over, Wyatt strikes from the deep and drags Strowman in. Neither man is seen from again, but the Fiend emerges from the waters as Extreme Rules rolls off the air. Well, I wish Alexa Bliss would lead me away. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, you'd have walked straight off that pier.
Oh, I'd have legged it towards her.
Alexa! Steve Paul says, I have no words for this match.
It was definitely interesting.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, it's a good job we do, because otherwise this podcast medium doesn't really work. It's just silence. So 2 things that I was not expecting to see in this match. One, fake Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
I love that bit.
I wasn't expecting that at all. I was really thinking they'd like to forget that they ever existed, not create fake ones and pretend that they were there.
Yeah.
And ghostly Alexa Bliss. It was a nice touch, though.
Yes, it was very nice touch.
When you think about what's happened to Braun Strowman since the time he was with Bray Wyatt, it's mostly just been him crushing people a lot. And this kind of love interest kind of thing during the mixed match challenge with Alexa Bliss.
Crushing over Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, crushing over her. Yeah, nice play on words there. But Team Little Big, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That they don't want to forget.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of speculations where there's been a lot of rumors floating around Facebook saying that Alexa Bliss might take on the Sister Abigail persona permanently, which apparently, I can't remember which Facebook group, they put a poll up to say, would you like to see Alexa Bliss stay as she is or turn into what they're calling her Sister Bliss? Which is quite a good name, actually. But I think it's 70% of the people want to see her turn into Sister Abigail. I don't.
No, I mean,
I think it was good for
rumors. First of all, I think that's just people making things up. I don't think there is any credible source that even thinks that's going to be the case. I think that's wishful thinking on a lot of people's part that they finally want to see Sister Abigail. But it kind of goes in with, there are so many other rumors that are like, oh, the Fiend isn't coming back. Or like, Vince doesn't want the Fiend anymore. It's like, no, the
Fiend is banging, mate. He's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. The whole reason this match happened is because they didn't want to completely blow their wad with the Fiend straight away.
No.
This has been a long build to SummerSlam where the Fiend will face Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship and possibly win and beat Braun Strowman and redeem for that awful Goldberg nonsense
God,
that cost him the WWE title.
don't. I forget
Wait, it
about
wasn't
that.
the WWE. What belt did he hold? It
Yeah.
was the Universal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he turned it from red to blue, didn't he?
Yes, and then from blue to face.
Yes, frightfully scary, but yes, but it was good, and I wonder if they are going to get a Sister Abigail character at some point, because apparently, Alexa Bliss being there was apparently she was Sister Abigail, but taking the form of Alexa Bliss.
Right, yeah. Okay.
So that's what people are saying as well, which I can see more. That's
I mean,
more credible.
if you followed the lore of Bray Wyatt over the years, especially in that time when he feuded with Matt Hardy,
Yeah,
Sister Abigail was the thing possessing Bray Wyatt, the thing
it's an
making him
entity.
that evil kind
Yeah,
of swamp dwelling, lantern carrying guy.
Dreadlock man,
Like, he technically was Sister
Sister
Abigail.
Abigail.
That
Yeah,
was what was influencing him.
yeah. Sister
So,
Abigail is an entity.
yeah. So, I mean, that would be kind of consistent with she can just jump to
Yeah,
anybody if
she
you're
can
really
appear with
having to try
somebody.
and explain this crazy story.
Yeah.
But
There's been so many rumors about people becoming Sister Abigail. There's one that was Liv Morgan.
yeah,
And
I remember you dropped one on Dan's Dirt Sheet a while ago that
yeah,
they were trying to recruit Rosemary from Impact
yes,
Wrestling.
yeah,
I think the ship has sailed.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
uh,
I
we're
I
not
like the not knowing part, because
same.
that just adds to Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, or his other character of Mr. Rogers.
Mhm.
You know, that's just the
But we're
way
not
it
going to see
is.
this
Oh,
Bray Wyatt again for
a
maybe ever,
while,
for a
yeah.
long time at least. It was brought out to serve a purpose
Mm,
and to have an
mm,
interesting carryover
yeah,
to their big match at SummerSlam.
yeah.
We're not going to see this Bray Wyatt again. I
No,
would put money on that.
yeah. It was
We're
great
going
to see
back
him
to
again, I think,
absolutely.
and
It was
the
very
way,
interesting and it added more to the
yeah,
character.
yeah, the way it was put across the story to have this Bray Wyatt, I really liked. But we
Mhm.
don't need to see him again, really, do we? At
No,
all,
no.
unless all of a sudden Eric Rowan and Luke Harper appear again back in WWE, which is highly unlikely.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I would prefer if they were going to do something about this, if they
mm,
wanted to bring that style of character back
yeah,
after The Fiend breaks mentally
mm,
Braun Strowman at SummerSlam and takes his championship,
mm,
Sister Abigail
mm.
takes over Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman wears a Hawaiian shirt and has the whole world in his hands.
No, I'd like to see Braun Strowman follow Bray Wyatt again, but as the Fiend. Bray Wyatt is the Fiend, and then Braun has his own like mask or what have you, like a horror mask or what have you, because that would be pretty cool.
You rumored that there was another mask
There
in the
was, yeah,
wings
yeah,
waiting.
but it wasn't really rumor because Bray Wyatt put it on his Twitter.
Oh, he did he?
Yeah, he
Okay.
put a picture of a new mask on his Twitter, so
Mhm.
maybe you never know. But then there's also been
Maybe.
rumors that it'll be Bo Dallas.
Yeah, and he somehow still works for WWE, so.
I know. You never know.
So,
Anyway,
business time. We
business.
both said Bray Wyatt.
Yes, we did.
I don't even know who won the match. I think it was Bray Wyatt.
I presume it was Bray because
The
he
last
was
thing we saw was The
the
Fiend, and that
Fiend.
is Bray Wyatt, so
I'm
he
guessing,
wins, right?
yeah, he was like the last man standing, as it were.
Yeah.
So
Last man not in the swamp.
last man not drowned.
So it's a wash.
Yeah, but yeah,
Whether he won or lost, it doesn't matter for our
we
competition.
both said the same thing anyway. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
but
anyway,
I would just kind of like to know from a
yeah,
what the hell point of view.
yeah, yep. But
Speaking of what the hell,
yes,
where was the bar fight between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy?
apparently it's going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be Extreme Rules.
Me too. And it's an extreme
Extreme
rule.
match.
So, extreme rule on extreme rules. This isn't difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we'll see on SmackDown.
Yes.
It'll be an interesting tiebreaker if it is required.
Mm.
Oh no, why don't we both said the same person? We both said Jeff, so
I know, I said yes, so it's another wash.
yeah, so it would have been a wash regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah. We'll find out on SmackDown.
Yeah. There's one match left in our predictions, so
Yeah.
I'm now starting. My brain is ticking over, and I'm starting to do the math, and I think I've won. Maybe.
Yes.
So the main event of Monday Night Raw saw Randy Orton and The Big Show go head to head in an unsanctioned match.
Mm.
With the exception of interference from Andrade and Angel Garza, this was pretty much a regular match. That was until the end, when Orton used a chair to weaken the Big Show enough to secure victory. After the match, the Legend Killer punted the Big Show and claimed another victim.
Mm.
It was a bit anticlimactic
in
the end.
Yeah.
I expected the Big Show, with his hatred for what Orton did to Edge and Christian, to have done more, to have got a weapon, to have done something
to go
in some way unsanctioned.
To go to town on him.
Yeah. Rather than to kind of go to the corner and then walk home again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most of the match was just a regular match. It didn't need to be unsanctioned.
No.
I don't think they gained anything from making it unsanctioned.
No.
Even from a storytelling point of view, it made no difference.
No.
It was a match that happened.
Yeah,
there,
I was about to
say
this is the match that happened.
Match that happened.
There we go. So,
but
yeah,
in terms of predictions, I said the Big Show.
I said Orton.
Ching.
So I got a point.
Yeah, you're not a total loser. Just a slight loser.
Hey, it's better than 0.
It is better than 0. And so, with this prediction game of at Extreme Rules and adjacent matches on SmackDown and Raw, we've ended at 3-1 to me.
Yeah.
And that means that I have also claimed
the victory for the others.
Yeah, the others, which I've forgotten, are Backlash and Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah?
I think.
Because we tied on both of those.
Yeah.
I probably should have done a bit of, research and recall and gone back to see what the total score is over the course of the year. But, I'm not that clever.
No, neither am I. But
I think with, 3 automatically under my belt, that must put me in a fairly good stead.
Yeah, probably.
I think I won the Royal Rumble.
I won WrestleMania.
And then what was there?
And then it was Money in the Bank.
Elimination Chamber.
Who won Elimination Chamber? Was that me?
I think it might have been you. We're going to need to go back. But
yeah, we need to double check this.
I feel like at this point in the year, I think I might have a one maybe up. 2 pay-per-view edge.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Yes.
But I'm glad that finally this drawing on the prediction game business is finally done with.
Yes.
Because I hate ties. Ties do my head in.
And you have a title belt on the way to commemorate the occasion.
I do indeed. Yeah. We're more than halfway through the year now. We should probably start reaching out to title belt companies to create this main roster prediction championship.
Yeah.
Who knows how long it'll take to forge that, but
I don't know. We got to think of a design first.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it kind of designs itself, right? Main roster logo.
Yeah. What about side
Throw an eagle on it because that's what you do.
Yeah. Just have
an eagle on it and call it a title belt.
What about side plates?
Testicles.
I was thinking more
Interchangeable side plates, man, so that whoever wins each year can change them out.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a
I can
good
throw
idea.
in my "it was a match that happened" side plates, and don't know what you can put there.
I don't know.
For some reason, title plates, maybe.
Yeah, for some reason. There you go. Or I'll just put "I love Alexa Bliss."
There you go. You know, stick to your brand, man. You gotta
I will.
do what's you.
I will. And then I'll tweet her.
So before we sign off,
Yes.
we just need to discuss the aftermath of this event on Monday Night Raw. Just some quick fire thoughts and notes so that we don't have to carry it through to the next episode.
Yeah.
So for me, the main highlights started with Rollins and Murphy just absolutely destroying Aleister Black.
Yep.
They've gone from Aleister Black being kind of the golden boy of the group that came up from NXT in that period to he is just there to be a whipping boy for Seth Rollins, it seems, consistently over the course of several months. Which is a shame, because I think Aleister Black is probably one of the top guys in the whole company.
Oh, yeah. I think he's a fantastic competitor.
Mm.
And he's a brilliant striker, as they always say. And I love his finisher as well. Black Mass is absolutely like a finisher that you can see actually knocking someone out.
Yeah.
So,
and especially when it's built to with the kind of foot lift.
Oh yeah, the foot lift and swing round, bam, done.
So that you know what's coming. But
yeah.
So I don't like the way that Black is being used at the moment.
No. He needs more.
Slightly risky segue. I do like the way that Black is being used in the Hurt Business. Can I say that? Is that okay? So we had on Raw Farouk Ron Simmons talking to MVP and Bobby Lashley about their stable and what they've been doing, which is an obvious reference and throwback to the Nation of Domination, which were a kind of,
black supremacy,
especially at the beginning, a black power stable, fighting for the oppression that was happening, black people not getting their shot in WWE, and that's kind of what we're getting with the Hurt Business, which is not a consistent name with what they're doing, but sure.
No.
And now Shelton Benjamin has joined them, winning the 24/7 championship from R-Truth. Himself a black man, but refusing to join them. I just like everything that's happening with that group at the moment. I think it's very current, it's very topical. And I hope it develops into bigger things for everyone in that group. If you're going to do something involving race in this day and age, use it properly, push these guys to the sky, and give them their opportunities to be top guys, because otherwise you're kind of proving the point that they're marginalized and screwed over a little bit.
Something like that.
So my segue was a little tenuous, a little risky, but you got where I was coming from. It was all positive stuff.
I got where you were coming from. Don't worry.
What else happened on Raw? So Mustafa Ali returned. And he somewhat aligned with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander in the fight against the Hurt Business. What did you think of that?
It was alright. Good to see Mustafa back. He looked quite jacked. He was a bit more toned, didn't he? So
he's been working hard to kind of shed that cruiserweight stink that wasn't going to get him anywhere in a Vince McMahon led company.
But and he had a bigger mask.
Mask
was huge.
I did wonder if it was just a COVID mask at first, because it was kind of dark where he was, even though he had a bunch of lights. You couldn't really see him properly.
No.
I was like, is he just wearing a COVID mask or what? Like, this is some kind of statement? What's the deal?
Yeah.
But no, it was one of his typical light masks.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they've shimmied him over to Raw.
Yes.
With no kind of reason or explanation, just reasons.
He's over to Raw. He's just over there.
And it reminded me that they have totally forgotten / pushed to the side the who's the kind of crazy stalker spying on people with the cameras character on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be maybe Mustafa Ali. Guess not.
All things suggested him, because the logo was the circles of light, which is what he has in his hand. So, but we've kind of forgotten about that, and that's gone now. So
maybe it was supposed to be Roman Reigns after all.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it will be again. They'll pull this thing out of their rear ends when they need a convenient kind of spy situation to drag one of their pointless storylines out. I am sure.
Saying that, Roman Reigns has got completely jacked while he's been off.
Yeah, he has.
So,
I mean, what else is he going to do?
There's nothing else to do, just work out and do stuff.
He probably got that jacked picking up his 67 children.
Yeah, he's probably using them as weights.
1, 2, let's put that kid down. 3, 4.
Is this what you do with your daughter?
No.
Why do I
I'm
not
not jacked. So I'm going to say no. Maybe that's why I'm not jacked. Maybe I should be bench pressing my child.
Bench press your child.
She's getting kind of heavy. It'll be a good workout.
There you go. Sorted.
Last couple of things from Raw then. The Street Profits sneak attack and then defeat Andrade and Angel Garza. I like that that's still a thing. Hopefully we can see the belts go to Andrade and Garza eventually.
Now that they're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of wondering at the beginning of Raw, like, are we going to see the Street Profits this week? Are the tag team champions going to actually show up?
Yeah.
So it was good to see them actually be there and do something useful.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks is not the Raw Women's Champion,
according
to Stephanie McMahon. But there will be a rematch next week where they will completely sort this situation out and have an undisputed winner in which people will not be able to interfere because title can change hands on DQs and countouts and all kinds of things. So cool, bring it on. Put the belt on Sasha. Job done.
Yeah.
And finally, as we alluded to earlier, Dolph Ziggler begged for another championship match, and McIntyre agreed on the basis that he got to choose the stipulation.
Yeah.
Do we need Ziggler to lose again? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Clearly we do.
I hope for their sake that they have some kind of plan in which whoever is going to be the challenger at SummerSlam gets involved in this match somehow.
Yes.
McIntyre's stipulation kind of allows somebody to get involved and almost cost him the belt.
Yeah.
Or cause the match to be completely thrown out.
Yeah.
Leading to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who's going to team with Dolph Ziggler again, because that's kind of the cycle that happens with Dolph Ziggler.
Robert Roode.
Do we want to see Robert Roode versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam?
I mean, I do. I
like Robert Roode, but it's not really SummerSlam main event material.
Can't really think of anyone.
There isn't really anyone.
No.
They've run out of people on Raw.
Oh dear.
get Bobby Lashley back in there, maybe. I don't really want to see that quite as soon as this, after it was only a month ago that they had a match. But Rollins again.
Yeah,
they're all repeats that I can think of.
Yeah, but
Lesnar again.
Well, there was talks because he's retiring from wrestling.
Who, Lesnar?
Yeah, I know.
I had not heard this.
But WWE are trying to get him. Well, Vinnie Mac is trying to get him to do like one last or maybe a couple more matches as like a farewell sort of thing. So maybe a good match between him and Drew McIntyre.
Sorry, did you just say Brock Lesnar and good match in the same sentence?
Yeah, I know. Like
this isn't 2003. That doesn't happen anymore.
I know. I want to see a match from 2003. Well, 2003-S between him and Drew McIntyre. How cool would that be?
That would be pretty cool.
But it's not
I think you're better off adding a 2003 Brock Lesnar match to your shortlist for Roster Slam. That's as close as you're going to get to seeing that in 2020.
I might do the one where he nearly breaks his neck.
It's got Kurt Angle in it. You can't argue with a Kurt Angle match.
Exactly. But the thing of going back to this, something I liked about it was when Dolph was begging him and Drew just went, "You had your chance, now bugger off." I really liked that bit.
Yeah.
That was like, that is English right there. That's British right there.
I mean, if you're going to have finally a British-born world champion, got to keep that kind of Britishism in him, right? And we've got the Glasgow kisses, and yeah, I feel like he's putting on an even stronger Scottish accent than he's actually got for most of his promos.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed that. Bugger off, that was good.
Yeah, I thought it was just a little hint, and then it made me happy. But anyway,
that was Raw. Not the best Raw, not the worst.
No.
Kind of put to bed some of the things that happened at Extreme Rules. I think I'm more interested in SmackDown this week.
Yeah, I am, especially with the bar fight.
Yeah, and did I also hear that we're getting a Firefly Funhouse? Maybe I imagined it. I'm not sure, but hopefully they follow up on that match somehow and start the ball rolling towards SummerSlam.
Yeah, bring it on.
But we will start the ball rolling as of now to next week for the retro roster.
Yes.
Remind us what event it is we're watching, because I've already forgotten, and I should probably watch it.
We're going to watch Armageddon 2008.
There you go.
Yeah.
So same time next week. No main roster next week. The retro roster returns. Episode 4 of the retro roster. Armageddon 2008.
Yes.
And all of the joy that entails.
I think there'll be a few bits that you'll like.
I'm sure they will.
So,
but I was kind of put off the whole thing. Just last thing before we go, on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere, a video popped up from about 12 years ago, so kind of around 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. The anniversary of the Great Khali's first championship win.
Oh yeah.
And he's holding the belt up upside down.
Yeah, he holds it upside
Khali,
down.
you can't even hold a belt. How do you expect to wrestle? So yeah, that's the kind of thing I remember from that era. So
there is a Jesse and Festus match, so
I can take Jesse and Festus. That's fine. Hopefully, there's no Khali.
There's a Divas bikini match.
I can take that on surface value.
but I won't tell you the rest.
Fair enough. I'll reserve my judgment. I'll go into it as unbiased as I can, and we'll convene and talk about it next week.
Cool.
If people would like to bother you on social media and maybe even discuss Armageddon 2008 beforehand and let you know what they think, how can they do that?
Twitter, DannyT259.
Lovely. Please follow the Jez Show Podcast Network at the Jez Show on Twitter, facebook.com/the Jez Show, instagram.com/the Jez Show _IG. Please follow me on Twitch. I'm continuing my goal to reach 50 followers by my birthday in mid-August. Progressing nicely, I must say. But always appreciate extra support. Drop me a follow. You can see all of these podcasts and some video game live streams over there. And if you do tune in live, Twitch is the place to do it because it's got the lowest latency. That's lag.
Thank you for clarification.
And this technology lesson has been brought to you by the main roster.
Yeah.
I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
And we'll catch you next week for the retro roster. Woohoo! Peace!
Bye!